Welcome back to the Let's Talk podcast. I'm your host Joelle, and this is the last episode of 2020. Insane. But anyway, we are actually streaming this live on YouTube and on Instagram, which is very, very exciting. I've never done this before. So you're in for a treat. So today is the last episode of 2020, and in true influencer, lifestyle, life coach fashion, we're going to talk about reflections for 2020 and what we've learned, what things happened. And because 2020 has been a wild one. It's been a ride, like I mentioned in my post on Monday, on Thursday. But anyway, so this time last year, we had no idea how 2020 was going to go. And it's kind of funny because we always say that this year is going to be our year. This year is going to be great. But little did we know, hello, 2020 was like, I'm gonna mix things up. I'm gonna spice things up this year. Hey there. And so it's just really ironic that every single time we say this year is going to be our year, but we have no idea in reality how the year is going to go. And 2020 was the epitome of that. And so let's start off with reflecting on 2020, because it's been a wild one, like I said. And for me, it's been no different. I'm very fortunate and privileged enough to say that, I've got a roof over my head, I've got a nice, I've got like a home, I've got accommodation, I've got a family, I've got friends and things that, like, people that love me and that I love. And it's really nice to be able to actually have those people. So if you're not in the same position, I am sending you lots of love, sending you lots of blessings, because this isn't something that we can all do. Anyway, let me check if the audio is okay on my live stream on YouTube. I think it's okay. But anyway. So, so for me, 2020, so many things happened. I was actually supposed to host live workshops in person in London, and I was so excited to do that. And I was supposed to do them in Soho, in workshops, confidence workshops with so many other amazing creators and artists. And actually, as soon as COVID hit, like, that all just went down the drain. And I don't want to dwell too much on that, because actually what has happened, what came out of that, was actually so much more amazing. I got to host workshops online with even more amazing people. Hey there. Hey guys. And with even more amazing people around the globe. And actually the situation opened up so many doors that so many of us would never have imagined was possible. For example, doing events online, doing church online, doing just kind of expanding our perceptions of what is possible, and actually thinking out of the box for the first time. Now, obviously, it's not to say that pandemic didn't cause so much hurt and pain, because it did, right? And it really did. But we can acknowledge the hurt and also acknowledge the opportunities that came with it. And this is true in every single moment. And it's really the dichotomy of life, there's good and there's bad. There's good and there's bad at the same time. And actually, it's about how we navigate that, how we manage that, how we use that to move us forward, however forward means, right? And so for me, what came out of it was actually starting this podcast that I'm talking about right now, live on YouTube and on Instagram, which is crazy, and connecting with you. And it's just really, really nice to be able to sit down and talk and chat with other people. And I really hope that you have enjoyed this podcast as much as I have loved doing it, especially doing it live as well, which has been really fun. And I've also been able to start a podcast with my friends over on spillthechart.pod. And yeah, I don't know, let me know, what opportunities has 2020 given you, because I'd love to know as well, and cheer you on. And I think another big change was that I was supposed to be on placement this year, but obviously, things happened and I had to go back to uni to finish off final year. And I've got to say, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it, because it actually meant that I can actually work on my business as well, because I can imagine if I was working a 9 to 5 job, I wouldn't have nearly enough energy or the same amount of time I have now to work on my business, to interact with you right now, and to put my creative energy into, learning new things and actually, pushing these passion projects. And so I think one question I want to ask you is, did you go out of your comfort zone this year? And this is something that I want to encourage, actually doing alternative 2020 reflections, because at the end of the day, a lot of things that people look back on, and a lot of the posts and motivational things that are going around this year, like I feel like they're a bit toxic sometimes, toxic productivity, and trying to say like, oh, what did you achieve with all your time off? But actually, you don't have to do that. You can just rest is enough. Like, you don't have to do any more than rest this year, especially, right? So yeah, it's about, did you go out of your comfort zone, yes or no? But even if you didn't, I think that's still fine, because at the end of the day, 2020 has, done us all dirty. Yes, princess. Yes, well done. Yes, I remember seeing that and I was like, hey. And you're enjoying your job, so that's really cool. And yeah, definitely so many opportunities to try new things. And I think it's really important to be able to look back and be like, actually, this has actually helped us to learn and grow in so many ways that we haven't done before. And I say that I need to do this more often, because I do my monthly reviews, and it shouldn't be just once a year that we reflect on our lives, right? Because that's definitely not enough, and that's probably too late sometimes. Hey Eva. And yeah, so I feel like, having this podcast, having my business, as well as uni, has been very tough, especially in final year, because I've got my dissertation and like stuff like that. And I'm sure many of you will also feel the same way. You might be parents, you've got jobs, like Princess here, teacher, and you don't have a lot of time on your hands. You don't have a lot of spare time, and in this already very hustle mindset, hustle culture, we're already given so many things to do, that the most important thing is to have clarity of mind, peace of mind, and peace of spirit. I don't know. So yeah, I just want to make sure that you are prioritizing your soul, your energy, above, doing more, because the more you do, the less you have of yourself, right? Like, depending on what you do, but a lot of times, if you're not aligned with what you do, the less you have left of yourself. So moving on to 2021, I don't know, what goals do you have? What goals do you have for 2021? I think it's really important to just look forward. It's just have something to look forward to, right? Especially since 2020 is just like, it's not great. And yeah, what do you have planned for 2021, or what goals? Or something I like to do is having a word for the year. And I feel like next year my word is going to be contentment. I don't know why that word has just been placed on my heart. Bit cheesy. But yeah, just after this year, just knowing that actually at the core of it, connections is all we need and all we have really to survive, especially since we've all been in isolation, and we've realized how much more important connections are, especially with the people that are close to us. And they say distance make the heart grow fonder. So 2021, I'm really going to try and maintain those connections, build up those connections, cultivate my relationships with people, cultivate my relationship with you. So I'm really going to try and keep my podcast up. I've been slacking a little bit towards the end of the year, but hopefully 2020. And also my uni YouTube channel. It's gonna be an interesting transition, because I'm obviously graduating. So my YouTube channel has been all about like sociology and university and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be graduating. So I'm gonna try and find a way to, transition it to maybe, I don't know, transitioning to employment and my job opportunities and things like that. I don't know. Let me know. Maybe that's interesting. Maybe it's not. Maybe you can share your own tips, because many of you are actually working and I'm not. So yeah. And I think also I just want to explore more creative hobbies. Like, what creative hobbies do you guys have? Because I have none. Genuinely, I literally just work on my uni work on my business, and that's basically it. You know, here and there I've got some, you know, social media stuff, but like at the end of the day, that's not really for fun, is it? I mean, it is fun, but like it's not purely for fun. So like next year, I really want to get into like workshops, you know, when we can go to workshops, and also just online. So like art workshops, pottery workshops. Anyone done any of those? And I think, yes, photography. Yes, but it is hard because you need to like meet up with people. I prefer like portraiture, so you need to meet up with people, and it's tough to meet up with people in these circumstances. But anyway, yeah, I want to do like batik dye workshops. There's the person called Yiran Duan, and she does ethnic minority Chinese like traditional batik dye workshops, which is, I think, is really cool. I might pop her handle, but I can't remember what it is. But I'll post it on my story later. But anyway, so like workshops and things like that, just, you know, for fun. And I'm also exploring doing user experience design or like marketing, possible career like trajectory, along with obviously like coaching and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like 2020 is going to be. I hope that we don't just leave all of this in 2020 behind. I hope that we don't leave everything that we've learned in this year, because actually, I hope that we remember it all. You know, all those like memes that are going around, like, don't talk to me about 2020 and 2021. I say talk to them about it, because if you don't remind people, they're not going to remember what happened. If you think about it, in 30 years, people are going to forget that this pandemic even existed, right? The future generations, they're not going to remember. Like, once we're gone, the memory is going to be gone. So I think it's really important to actually remember the lessons that it's taught us. Remember that it's taught us about empathy, equality, well, re-highlighted, should have been there all along, and connection and really contentment. You know, like what's one thing you would say you've learned in 2020? Like, let me know. Because yeah, it's been a crazy one. It's really been a crazy one. But I'm glad. I'm very grateful that like God's brought us through it all, and we're here today. You're here today, listening to this on the podcast, on Instagram, on YouTube, and I'm here as well. I'm super grateful, and I really hope that next year is going to be the year that we can all be content, and content with ourselves as well, and content with what is happening. Although obviously we've all got different circumstances and difficult ones as well. But yeah, I think this is it. I don't want to keep this too long, because, you know, we've got a lot of 2020 reflections, things to be looking at and going through. So instead of listening to this, I want you to reflect now on your own 2020 and lessons that you're going to take forward into 2021. And let me know, of course. So yeah, that is it for today, and we will see you in the new year in the next episode. Bye bye.